On this episode of Cuesta Dos, first of all, you get a jingle from me, which I think everyone should hang out for. It's a little later in the episode, but you'll
It's
like
not
it.
bad. I'll give you that.
But we start off talking about the fact that sports are coming back. Yay!
What a good thing. I am so happy.
So sports are coming back. Then we jump into college players can officially make money off their name and likeness, and the people that are bashing it need to stop. We talk about the feelings that we both had over the virtual draft experience, which was lots of fun. I thought, David thought. You probably don't have to listen to that segment. We both gave it away. And then we talk about the Packers' weird decision to take a quarterback in the first round and what that means for Aaron Rodgers. We discuss whether our favorite team, the New York Jets, should pursue Jadeveon Clowney. We talk about Jameis Winston being signed to the Saints and him starting. I mean, Taysom Hill. Who would you choose as the backup? And then we close out talking about the Patriots' options for quarterback, whether or not you would sign the newly cut Andy Dalton, sad face, or Cam Newton. So without any further ado, I hope everyone enjoys the show.
Enjoy.
What's going on, sports fans? Welcome to another exciting edition of Cuesta Dos.
Yeah.
I am Alex Cuesta. He is David Cuesta. What's going on, Dave?
Nothing much, really. Nothing much. I'm actually thinking about turning up this fan because honestly, it's warm in here now.
You definitely can, even though people can see you doing that now, which is nice.
Yeah, I know. Also,
Creepy.
I'm wearing a different sweatshirt this time. It's not the Jets. It's a head sweatshirt.
Didn't I get you that one too?
Yes. Honestly, this might be my favorite sweatshirt I've ever worn. I don't know if it's just like, I'm feel at home in tennis gear or just the way it fits, but I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, tennis gear is pretty well-fitting stuff. So anyway, we are recording this on a Thursday. It's a little bit later, mostly because if anyone's been paying attention, I've been working on a new series that I've been working hard on. It's the NFL Divisional Fan Series. I let out the NFC West the other day. It had 4 fans. Our cousin Danny, who all of them killed it. Michael Martinson for the Cardinals, Joe Pennick for the Rams, and Amani Richardson, both of our friends, for the Seahawks. Go check that out. I thought it was some good stuff. Dave, what did you think about it? You gave it a listen too.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. There's obviously a little bit of mic problems, but that's all right. It happens anytime you do a podcast. But no, I liked it a lot. It was very concise. They were able to get out their feelings. Interesting enough, everyone seemed to like what their teams did in the NFC West.
And it is interesting, though, because it's funny you look at it, and I think all the teams did improve in the NFC West.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a super interesting division. The AFC West should be coming out soon. I have all the stuff together. It takes a lot to package it and put it together.
Yeah.
I don't know if people realize I am the founder and owner of Sports Opinions Podcast. I do that podcast. I just recorded with Al Dukes from The Fan the other day. So I do that. I have to produce that. I am our graphic designer. I produce all the other shows. I put together all the other shows. So that's also the only other show I really don't put together is Colton's Personal Foul Podcast.
You don't do anything.
But, we're young but just us. I throw that together, all the graphics and stuff. So it takes a little bit for me to get this done while watching my 2-year-old.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic. So I work my tail off to get it done. But there's a few things coming everybody's way. So hopefully they're excited for it. But again, we apologize for recording on a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
But the good thing is we get a whole lot of sports news out of it. So that ends up being fun. So Dave, what do we got going on?
Mm-hmm. Well, sports are trying to come back. They're looking to start up again. UFC 249 is back on in Florida May 8th, Saturday. The card is ridiculous. The card's insane. Even if you don't watch UFC, please try to find a way to watch this one because this one's going to be a whole hell of a lot of fun. 2 very good title fights. And the other 3 fights in the main card are very good. There's like 16 preliminary matches. Not really, but there's a lot of them. And they're all looking to be good. They're all looking to be very good. So I'm very excited for that. I'm happy we're finally getting UFC back. NBA teams are going to be allowed to begin team arrangements and team things again May 1st, which is very soon. They did at the time of this recording.
Yep.
So that is a very good sign. And NASCAR is starting back up again May 17th. So we're getting sports back into some kind of rhythm here. We're trying to start up again. I'm very happy about it. I don't even care if they don't have fans there. I know how much it affects them playing when you don't have fans, because it's a huge momentum thing. It causes a lot of ruckus. When you don't have them, it probably just doesn't feel the same. But just watching it, I don't care if they don't have fans. I just need sports back in my life.
I agree completely. I know NBA and baseball and hockey have all been in talks about coming back, and it seems like, and it's interesting dynamic. We're talking, obviously, coronavirus, COVID-19 affects all this.
Yep.
And there's a lot going on in the situation now in the world and in our country specifically of states individually starting back up.
Yes.
And as much as there's certain pushback with some of these states starting up, specifically Florida. Florida seems to be the one leading the charges starting back up. And there's been some pushback about it.
Florida said screw it.
But at the same time, that's where all of this is coming back to start, between this and North Carolina. Because North Carolina has the NASCAR start. But WWE's been continuing in Florida. NBA and MLB potentially, well, Major League Baseball has been a little bit of everywhere, but NBA specifically potentially wants to come back at the Disney Wide World of Sports, which is a great place to do it. It's a closed area, obviously no fans again, and and then UFC being back. So we're just excited for some sports to come back, and virtual NASCAR has done enough to kind of water everybody's mouth that when NASCAR starts up on the 17th, and apparently
it's gonna be so many people.
4 races in 10 days.
Jesus Christ. There's going to be so many people watching NASCAR.
No, I didn't read into it. I don't know if it's going to be specifically 4 races between the actual main cup with all the stock cars, or if it's going to be a mix between truck and, nationwide racing as well. I don't know, but regardless, it's a whole lot of racing. And yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest ratings NASCAR has on a non-Daytona, Talladega, like Bristol race.
This is going to be, whenever sports are back into some sort of, it's not going to be full swing, but some sort of swing, they're going to have the biggest possible ratings that they're going to get at any time. Because look at the draft. The draft did fantastically. And I know we're going to touch on that more later on, but the draft did fantastically doing a virtual draft. No one around. It's just, we need sports that much.
Dave, a quick aside that's not on our itinerary or anything, but I saw a little thing, and I don't know the truth of it, but potentially Vince McMahon might be looking to sell the WWE. We mentioned WWE, looking to sell it to a combination of ESPN and Fox.
I know.
I think that's a dead sentence for the WWE because, honestly, anything ESPN and Disney touches, if it had the adult edge to it, automatically gets knocked down. Automatically. The only thing, the saving grace for us is, kind of going off topic as Deadpool fans, me and you were both Deadpool fans, was the fact that Disney didn't have it. The fact that it was able to get a rated R rating. So just quickly, since me and you were both wrestling fans, we mentioned WWE. It would be really sad if Vince sold it to them. I don't care what type of, power he might have over oversight and this and that. Once Disney gets it, I think it's done. I think AEW will win if they sell.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't like it if he sold it to him. The only saving grace we have of maybe Disney won't go crazy about pampering it too much.
Maybe Fox will take over more of it, because if Fox takes over, maybe it can stay with the content.
Well, no, not even that. The fact that ESPN is allowing F-bombs for The Last Dance is something huge.
Yes,
so the fact that they're allowing that, maybe even if Vince were to say sell it to him and they took control more, maybe they'll allow still some of the stuff that WWE is known for, because they just don't want to cut out anything that people love about it.
It has been going towards a PG era more, but then again, this new generation, this new era is definitely a lot more grittier than the PG era. They're doing a lot more. They're pushing a lot more boundaries, and it's getting a lot of Attitude Era fans back into it. So it would be a shame to see a lot of people go, like, when I'm flicking through, if WWE is on, I will watch it now. I won't seek it out, but if I'm scrolling through and I stop on it, I'll watch it until possibly the next commercial or even beyond if the story's good. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Quickly, I want to give a shout out. Obviously, drinking my Corona. Hi, everybody. But shout out to Vassar Brother Medical Center. It's the koozie I have. My wife works there. Shout out to all the people on the front line still working. They're essential workers, working their asses off to keep everybody safe. So just quick shout out there, the Vassar Brother. They do an awesome job. They're basically one of our COVID-19 hubs in the area. So going to move on. You talked about the draft. You mentioned it. We're going to not do that yet. I'm completely moving up in the itinerary, Dave. I'm skipping
You
things.
silly man.
What it is I scrolled down on my phone. I keep it on the phone. And I scrolled down too far, and I knew I was like the next topic to introduce.
Well, this has something to do with the draft. Don't
A
worry.
little bit. So now that our transition is screwed because I suck, we are going to talk about college. Technically, like you said, has something to do with the draft. Good try to save it, Dave. I failed. But so we mentioned a while ago that it was a thing that the NCAA was allowing college players to make money off their likeness. Well, now it's solidified.
Yep.
And they added their name as well, completely and totally.
Mm-hmm.
So this, to me, it was already something coming. And it's kind of a game changer in the way that now it's official. An NCAA group has officially approved it. It's allowed to go. Yep. If you're in college, players, you can endorse yourselves and make a lot of money if you're good at what you do. One thing I've been seeing is there is a lot of bashing of the NCAA, even with this rule happening, a former player saying, we want, reparations from you guys because you didn't let us do it. And then I saw the most outspoken, Jay Billis, coming out saying it's too little too late. I am not a fan of the NCAA. I was a Division I athlete. I think that they kind of suck. Mm-hmm. But I have a few things to say. First, Jay Billis. I like Jay Billis for the most part. But the guy has made a living bashing the NCAA so far. And we can all be honest, without the NCAA, Jay Billis doesn't exist. He's the collegiate basketball analyst, and he's made his hay basically ripping the NCAA over pay-to-play type of things. And all these other people that are now ripping the decision, saying it's too little, too late, this and that. Be careful what you wish for, because if I'm the NCAA, I'm seeing all this. I'm going to get pissed at some point, rip it out of people's hands and say, you know what? No, sorry, you guys can't do it anymore. Because it's like
it's like, what do you want? Yeah, I know what you're saying.
They said, the schools aren't allowed to pay them. They can make money off their likeness. They're keeping that amateurism type of thing where they're not getting paid by the school. Mm-hmm. But it's like you get a concession and it's not enough. It's not enough. It's like, obviously acknowledge probably more will need to get done, but let's see how it unfolds first. Let's see the first big football player get that deal from Under Armour.
Yep.
And see how much it's for. And see what the NCAA does when this kid is offered a $15 million deal to be sponsored by Under Armour and they go into commercials and things like that. Let's see. Don't bash him first. Because if I'm the NCAA, I'm like, okay, you want to make us out to be jerks? Let's be jerks. Let's limit. Like, that's all I would start doing now. I'd start putting on more bylaws to limit it because screw all of you. Give me my money.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, yeah, we could sit here and name probably many things the NCAA still needs to fix that we think aren't right. But I think we should applaud them when they make the right move. Yes. There's no reason to keep, like, what are you gaining from bashing them from making a move that you wanted in the first place? It is not, honestly, it is not rational to want them to have colleges pay players, because I just don't think you could come up with a system that pays everyone fairly and pays every single club fairly, because you're going to run into a lot of boogeymen if you try to do that. So I think this was the best way to do it. You allow your players to get money off their likeness. Yeah. They can market themselves. They are their own brand. That's what you want them to have. So I like that they did this. I'm happy that they finally did it. Players can now make their money. And yes, I'm sorry about other players that couldn't do it when they were in college. Players that were very good in college that weren't good when they got up into the professional leagues.
And mind you, that are now millionaires.
Oh, well, not all of them.
I think most of them are. Unless they spent it all.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, yeah. But I'm just saying that, there's players in college that might have went up to the pros, got injured a lot, and they made some money from the pros, but you never know what could have happened. And if they could have made money in college, maybe they're more set. But you cannot bash them for a move that you wanted in the first place. You applaud it, and you say, look, I liked what you did here. I think we can find common ground, but I would like if you did some more here.
It's got to be a wait and see. Approach right now.
Yeah, I just think with the communication, there's no reason to keep killing someone when they do something that you want. Instead, you find the common ground that okay, this is what we wanted. Thank you very much for giving it to us.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be able to fix this? Because we see this as an issue. We hope you can see the issue here as well.
The college football playoff. But for me, though, too, I look at it, this is a definite knee-jerk reaction to now the third top 50 player, high school player.
Yep.
Now, officially the first one to decommit from a school.
Yep.
He decommitted from UCLA. I forget his name, but a 5-star recruit decommitted from UCLA to go to the G League.
Was it Knicks? I can't remember.
I forget his name, but that's now with a third guy. And we could be seeing more and more people jumping on this gravy train as they see, number one, potentially they might not get to play. If this comes back around next year and we don't have a handle on this, we could be looking at no sports during the cold time again.
Mm-hmm.
And at least they'd get paid.
Yeah.
Or they'd have a chance of mingling with pros and getting into a pro system and, maybe doing lifting programs and getting noticed, scouts looking at them, coaches looking at them play. And they might have to play a game, but it's like, this kid's got skill. It wasn't his fault. Let's draft him type of deal.
Yeah.
So I think this was also knee jerk. So while I want to applaud them, at the same time, they didn't have a choice. Like it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. No, you make the moves you have to make. And the whole G League thing, I mean, listen, we're going to see only the top guys going to the G League. If you're not going to go into the G League unless you're an actual top guy and you feel like you could do a lot there, and you might not even stay for a whole year in the G League before you get called up if you do well enough. So we're only going to see the top guys go there, but still, that's a lot for the NCAA to lose. Yeah. So of course, this is definitely partially a knee-jerk reaction, if not the whole thing is a knee-jerk reaction to the G League taking some players. But no matter what it is, we still got what the players deserved here. Yeah. I don't care. They still did it. They didn't have to. Even with the reaction, they could have said, no, we're the NCAA. Who cares? People are still going to come. No, they still did it. Yeah. So I'm still going to say good that they did it.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy for the kids. Maybe it's just me. I'm happy for the kids in college that will currently get the opportunity. I use this reference all the time. When I was at Marist College, the girls basketball team would have made a killing in our area. The women, like Julianne Vianney, who now you can see on ESPN, she does the women's college basketball games over there and a lot of other things, is a great reporter over there now and play-by-play. But then also Rachel Fitz was a great over at Marist. So many other names I could probably throw out there that if they had the opportunity to, obviously not affiliated, but maybe go and sign a local deal with Anaconda Sports here, who does all of our basketball, our actual sporting apparel, go do a signing with them locally. Are you kidding me? They would have made a few $1,000s in their pocket alone just by doing that.
Yep.
And to a college kid, if you're sitting there going, I can do 4 times in a season and make $10,000 just from doing some signings. That's a lot of money.
Very happy. You're very happy.
Of actual money, not scholarships, not education for money, that type of. And the last thing I want to say is I was watching a little bit of Alan Hahn and Bart Scott do a live Instagram show now.
Yeah.
And I caught clips and pieces of it. And Bart Scott had a great point. He said that a lot of people that bring up the getting paid thing talk about how these kids are getting scholarships. They're getting free school. And he's like, okay, you're paying them $200,000 on a highball in 4 years to make millions. So you're telling me that we should start paying pro athletes $50,000 a year? He said the equivalent, that's the equivalent, paying a kid $40,000 to $50,000 a year to make a company millions.
Yeah. No, that's a
good
fair
equivalent.
point.
That was one of the better points I've heard.
That's definitely a fair point. My whole thing is even with, no doubt they're getting the academics, they're getting the scholarships and stuff. When do they have time to really soak all that in? If you're going to the pros, you're so damn busy that's all you're focusing on. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you get the degree and that does help, but you're not retaining a lot of it. You're retaining what you need to do to get into the league.
You think the one and dones went to class? Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. If you're going, man, you're going, and you need to, because otherwise you're losing it.
I'm tired of hearing in these draft things for college football. well, I might have had someone take a test for him. You think you went to class, you idiots? Stop pretending like these dudes went to class.
Like, you know damn well you wouldn't either.
You went to class. The kicker, the punter, maybe the quarterback, the ones that are taking real majors, like not to be mean to majors, but if you're like a sports, how many of these guys go for business economics? And not to bash business economics. You work your tail off in business ed, economics, you become one of the most rich people on the planet, potentially. Yeah. But a lot of these people just take that because they have to take a major, so business. Because then afterwards, they can run a business because they have a business degree. Like, it's ridiculous. So I hate the fake outrage of, well, he might have. No, shut up. We know they don't go to class. Stop it. Just don't get caught, period.
Yeah.
Like, we know. Anyway, all right, before we go off for a full hour on this.
Yeah, there's no reason to keep going crazy, but...
You like my rants.
I do. I love them. I really do. But we can now continue on to the NFL draft. We did touch on that earlier. I did touch on that earlier. And
ew, you touch things?
Sometimes.
Gross.
And the draft this year, I actually enjoyed it. As everyone knows, it's a virtual draft. We could not get together, obviously, because of current Backstreet Boys reunion tour going on. So I heard it referred to as that one time. So I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing it because I just like that better. But but yeah, the draft couldn't be held in person. So they did a virtual draft. I thought for one that someone was going to screw up. I thought there was going to be some kind of connection that was bad or something stupid just happened.
I was hoping for a hot mic and we didn't get it.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It ran very smoothly,
except for Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, I know. But
not understanding technology.
But they did very, very well, and I enjoyed the experience. I thought that for what they had to work with, the NFL did a great job with this draft. The only thing. I think
I know what you're going to bring up.
The tragedy porn that they were
I talked about this with Al Dukes, and I asked him as a producer, would you do that? And he was like, no,
it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. What are you doing? I'm sorry. Listen, I get it. Some of these people had really bad childhoods. There's a lot of bad things that have happened to them, and I get it. Maybe that story is cool, like when they're in the game, like you hear it after a big play, like, oh, they're really making it. But after the draft, like, I don't need that to be a bullet point that their mom died when they were 7. I don't need to hear that. I'm sorry. Like, that's their personal info.
And, and it's like we've had literally tens of thousands, if not 100,000 people passing away from a pandemic. And you want to bring up more death on a night where we are all trying to be happy and get away from that. There's the inspirational story every once in a while, and not to be mean to the people that are selected down on the bottom, but it's a lot of the ones that, jumped into the first round that had no looks at all, and now they fought through. Not the blue chip athlete that was the best player since middle school, high school, went to Alabama, but you know what? His uncle Rico passed away, and that really drove him. Like, we don't need to know that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just part of me that I just don't like knowing personal information.
Oh no, I agree.
It's weird. It's really weird. Other than that, though, whole draft was fine. Other than that, the whole draft was really good.
You see, I thought Goodell did a good enough job. I thought he was very scripted, but I
He's
enjoyed
Goodell bot. How is he not going to be scripted?
He is Goodell.
He's literally a robot.
I enjoy.
What? How would he not be scripted?
I enjoy the fact that he played up to the booing. It was a little corny, but it was corny, but it was good.
Good.
It was interesting. Cliff Kingsbury quite literally flexed on the planet along with Jerry Jones. Both of them were just like, we're rich, you're poor, I don't care.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
And and it's like that was the ultimate, like, I'm rich, suck it. When you have like some people sitting there in like their closet of their house doing the draft. Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. Jerry Jones on a yacht, him in his gorgeous home. Like, but it was cool to see some of these. It was cool. And I enjoyed the fact that I thought it was better to have all the draft picks home. For me,
you get to see them with their family.
The pomp and circumstance of having them there, and maybe the awkwardness of that draft pick that didn't go in the beginning, and then they have to get pulled into Goodell's private area. Jake Fromm would have been the perfect example. He probably would have went to New York.
Yep.
Or wherever it was. And Jake Fromm would have been that example of sitting there and waiting, and that awkward thing where the camera is on him and he's trying to have a stoic face. Like, I honestly liked seeing everyone home being able to celebrate with their family, seeing CeeDee Lamb snatch the phone from probably his now ex-girlfriend. But it's...
He said it wasn't like that. He said it wasn't like that.
Yeah, he has to. He has to.
He doesn't.
But overall, I thought it was pretty good. I liked the fact that I was seeing everyone in their homes. I did like to see kind of like the average setups of some of the coaches and stuff. And only thing, my main disappointment, we didn't see a Gruden brawl at any point. I was expecting chairs to be thrown at some point. Like, we would like check into the Raiders and all of a sudden like John would have Jay in a headlock and his bodybuilding son would be pressing both of them and like throwing them. Like, I wanted that. I'm really disappointed we didn't get a Gruden brawl.
That is true. I will say one thing. I heard this from another radio station. They're talking about the NFL draft. And, they brought up, how rich do you have to be Jerry Jones and have the confidence in your boat Wi-Fi? Your Wi-Fi on your boat, your connection on your boat is that good that you have full confidence that you're going to draft with it.
Anybody that was experiencing slow connection from Verizon, probably, it was because he called them and said, I will bury you if anything goes wrong. And they directed all of their resources to him.
It might have been it.
Stalking them.
Yeah, that might have been it. I don't know, but that's insane.
Yeah, he's a baller. He's a baller. And the shock pick that he made wasn't a waste shock pick. It was a shock pick that was going to make the Cowboys an absolute monster.
Yep.
So we're going to move on to other monsters that might be rearing their ugly heads. So interesting development happened during that draft. First round's going smooth. We get into the later parts. The big quarterbacks that we all expected to be off the board were off the board. To a Herbert, Burrow. All of a sudden, here comes Green Bay with a smack on the face to Aaron Rodgers. They traded into the first round to pick up Jordan Love, Utah State quarterback. And apparently Aaron Rodgers and him had a nice conversation. He said he'd look forward to learning from him. And then you have Brett Favre coming. There ain't no way he's staying. Brett Favre was like, I didn't stay because of him. He ain't staying.
I wouldn't. I'm not going to lie to you. I know Aaron Rodgers does not have a good personality. I think everyone knows that. But I wouldn't stay either. I mean, look, last year you did well, even though you shouldn't have, honestly. Green Bay should not have been a 13-win team.
No.
But you did well. You did very well. Then you got your asses kicked by the Niners because you just simply weren't that good of a team. That's all it was. And you don't give your premier franchise quarterback that's given you his entire career another wide receiver across from Devontae Adams. Like you didn't give him that. Like, that's one of the only things that you had to give him in this draft, and you didn't do it. Instead, you pick up a quarterback to prove you have power over Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, if Jordan Love doesn't work out, you're the dumbest organization possible. Like, why aren't you? And you could have waited too. That's the thing. I don't know who was going to pick up Jordan Love. Who was going to pick him up?
This worked out last time. They picked up Aaron Rodgers. I get it was later. It was later in the draft and they picked him up. But people were also scratching their heads going, you picked up Aaron and you had Brett. Now, granted, Aaron Rodgers sat there for 3 years.
Exactly.
Don't forget that everyone knocks Brett Favre for not wanting to help Aaron Rodgers.
He was there.
He helped him by not leaving earlier. Like, he might not have been his best friend, but he still sat in that quarterback room. He watched Brett Favre prepare. He would practice next to Brett. He was able to pick up a lot from Brett. If Jordan Love can sit for a year or two, if Rodgers doesn't demand a trade, we could see Jordan Love be successful. Now, if Rodgers does want to bury him, he demands a trade now, and then Jordan Love is probably not ready to play.
No.
And they're screwed, or they go, if Rodgers leaves, then they're in the Dalton Cam sweepstakes if those two aren't already picked up. Plot twist. We're all, we're going to talk later. I'm going to add this into the mix. Aaron Rodgers to the Pat Riots.
I knew exactly what you were going to. I actually thought of it myself, and I said, no, I'm not going to throw that out there.
We could throw it out there. We're adding that to the mix and the topic later. So
That's
keep that.
Nonsense.
Put that,
That's
but
nonsense.
take that one, grab it out the air, put it in your pocket. We'll take it out later.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that. That's nonsense. What isn't nonsense is that Jadeveon Clowney is still on the market. Actually, no, it actually kind of is nonsense that he's on the market, but his asking price was high.
Yes.
But so the Jets still need a pass rusher, really. I mean, we kept Jordan Jenkins, but he's not a premier guy.
Jadeveon Clowney is getting older.
Yeah. Jadeveon Clowney is still a premier guy. Yes, he takes plays off, but he's still a very, very good pass rusher.
Yes.
Now, the question is, if his price drops down, because obviously Joe Douglas isn't going to pay that much for him. He did in the offseason. So obviously he's not going to. If the price drops down, is he worth whatever headache might come with him? And honestly, I didn't see much news coming out of Seattle about him being a headache.
Yeah.
So I would think that if his price is right, why not? Like, we need the pass rusher. Instead of giving anything up instead of giving anyone up in a trade for a pass rusher, just pick up Jadeveon Clowney on like a 1-year deal. You know he's gonna make good plays. Yeah, he'll take them off, but Greg Williams will at least get under him enough that he'll make some damn good plays for that defense. And all you need is him pass rushing a little bit for Jamal or Jordan Jenkins to get back there. So it's a good move if we can do it.
You know, we didn't hear anything from him out of Seattle, but that's because Seattle's system is so different. Pete Carroll is so loose. He kind of lets them do whatever the hell they want and just tells them, work hard in practice, show up for game day, do your damn jobs. Anything else you do, I don't care. But just do what you need to do. And I feel like Russell Wilson's the one that keeps everybody in line there.
Yes.
Over everyone else, because Russell Wilson's definitely more straight and narrow. So I think that's kind of the dynamic there. I love Greg Williams. I know he's a great mind. They would clash. Players like that clash with guys like, and I know Greg Williams is a player's coach. He'll go to war. And I feel like if Jadeveon Clowney came, he would say all the right things. He'd practice his ass off, work hard, and then game time would come and play number 5 would happen, and he would just fall into the tackle when he was supposed to be rushing. And that would blow a gasket for a guy like Greg Williams, who expects 1,000 miles an hour all the time. And then I feel like that kind of causes problems because these guys get close in the locker room. It would be no doubt of mine that someone like Prez would get very close to him, Jamal Adams, because these guys all work their asses off and get close to each other. And then if you're causing a rift because Williams or Gase might be calling him out publicly, and then Adams is coming out and saying, no, he's one of our hardest workers, I could definitely see that occurring, especially Adam Gase, who has a loose mouth.
I can see that occurring if we're losing. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
If we're winning, that doesn't get brought up. No one cares. No one cares if you're winning. We kept hearing about the rift between Belichick and Brady, and they won 6 Super Bowls. They didn't care about that rift, okay? Yep. I mean, obviously, that's the dynasty. That's greatness beyond compare. But if you're winning, no one cares about your rifts. It's when you start losing is that when everyone starts caring. Because you can hate each other as much as you want. If you got the respect there, you're winning games, you're getting into the playoffs, or possibly the Super Bowl, no one cares.
You forget
you're
working for that. What? Losing comes easy for the Jets.
That's true. No, that's 100% true. But what I'm saying...
You have New York media Manish Mehta. You think the rift isn't going to get caused by him alone? He's going to not even make up stuff. He'll hear a tidbit, and he'll blow it up into a massive story. And for whatever reason, Manish Mehta still has credence in the New York sports media. Like, honestly, like, he's somebody that I may not want on my podcast, ever. Ever, because I would not be able to be nice to him. I'd be like, you are a jerk. Your sole job is not to report. It's to make the Jets look worse than they are.
Hey, we all need our haters.
Listen, he brought down Rex Ryan more than anybody else.
Sure did.
He is a terrible reporter. I don't understand why the Jets let him in the locker room anymore.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But, like, I think if the price is right, I don't see why not on a 1-year deal. If it's a 1-year deal, it's a good price. Get your pass rusher. Just do it.
Yeah, if I'm in this situation right now where I like what Douglas has done enough that if he is cool with it, I would be cool with it.
Yeah, I like what he's done a lot. So right now I'm trusting Joe Douglas.
Yeah, so trust in Douglas, and I trust something else, Dave.
I know what you trust. I trust it too.
I trust the fact that Drew Brees is about to lose his job in training camp.
No, I don't trust that.
Because
no, wait. I spoke
Winston
too soon. I spoke
now
too
in
soon.
The Big Easy, baby. He's in the Big Easy. He can see clearly now. The blurriness is gone. He can see all the linebackers in his way.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
We're doing it, Dave. Jameis Winston
goodness.
is in NOLA. Jameis Winston
He's not
is going to take over for Drew Brees.
Stop.
He's going to sit there. He's going to look down on Drew because Drew's short. He's going to sun him, and he's going to mush him back. And Sean Payton's going to go, hey, Drew, you got a lot taller. That's not your number. What are you doing? And Jameis is going to go, I got this, coach. And there we go, 16-0.
Oh, my God. Stop it.
16-0, 6,000 yards, 70 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Stop it. But that is a very interesting pickup by the Saints, seeing as how they said they want to stick with Taysom Hill, and then they go and get Jameis Winston. Yeah, it's a one-year deal, but obviously there's not entirely trust in Hill.
I want to bring this up because I saw idiots on Twitter. I don't know if they're an actual reporter, but they're a moron, talking about that Jameis Winston's deal was only $1.1 million, and these many punters make more, these many kickers make more. He's made $46 million in his career. He's at an impasse in his career where he's just trying to make a pit stop for 4 or 5 games right before the trade deadline, find out which team's quarterback goes down that needs a veteran starting experience, go there and revive his career. That is the only purpose right now, unless he exposes the fact that Taysom Hill isn't good enough during training camp, unless he just outplays Taysom Hill that badly in NOLA. They're in a situation now where they have Taysom Hill on his 1 year because he had to sign the tender, Jameis Winston on the year. They can make a decision at the trade deadline who they're going to go with, because people forget Jameis Winston has only played 5 seasons.
Yep.
He is, what is he now? He got out of college at 20, so what is he, 25, 26? He's not old.
Yeah. No, he's not old at all.
Taysom Hill's 23, 24. It's not like there's a major difference there. And if you're looking at actual quarterback play, Jameis Winston's probably the better quarterback. Not as
bar none. That's not even close. I'm sorry. We're not doing that. That's not even close. Jameis Winston is bar none the better quarterback than Taysom Hill.
So here's the question that I wanted to present to you. If we see Brees regression, because it's a possibility,
age.
All get old. If he gets Peyton Manning level regression where, he's good enough to go out there, but he's not good enough to win games anymore. Are you trusting Taysom Hill to kind of go out there and do the newer style, the Lamar Jackson style offense that was successful? Or are you going to hand the ball to Jameis, who has started games, who's been successful in the NFL before, and who could finally see?
100% Jameis Winston.
Okay.
100% Jameis Winston. Unless it's like the first couple games where Jameis might not be completely acclimated with all the playbook and have all the chemistry with the wide receivers. But even then, listen, the Lamar playbook works because it's Lamar Jackson. Taysom Hill is not Lamar Jackson. He might be a little stronger, but he's nowhere near as shifty. Lamar is a special kind of passing runner. That's really what he is. I'm not even to be mean to him, but like he can run so well, and he can throw some pretty damn nice dimes too. He has the ability to do that. So that's why he's a very effective quarterback. Taysom Hill, I honestly don't know how well he can throw. Yeah, he's made good throws. Yeah. Exactly. He's made good throws, but he hasn't consistently worn his arm out through a game making throws.
Yep.
He can run very well. Amazing switchblade, but I have no idea how he is as an actual quarterback.
We've seen Jameis throw the ball 40 to 50 times a week and still do it every single week.
Exactly. Jameis Winston, I know what he can do. Yes, I understand the 30 interception. No doubt the turnover problem is an actual problem.
Yes.
But Jameis Winston will go out there and actually win you a game. Yeah. I've had this argument multiple times. If you could somehow fix the turnover problem, maybe LASIK eye surgery might do it, which is scary if it does. But if you can somehow fix that turnover problem, even to 15 turnovers, we're talking about Jameis Winston as one of the best QBs in the league, bar none.
Yep.
Bar none.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. Like, I'm sorry, I cannot compare Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. It's just not a comparison. It just really isn't.
So is he in a Vikings uniform where Kirk Cousins shits the bed?
I don't know about that. He could be in many uniforms, honestly. Yeah. You never know. You never know where these guys are going to end up. There's so much going on in the NFL right now.
In all seriousness, I think Jameis put himself in a great situation there because there's going to be a lot of exposure. The Saints play a lot of primetime. Drew Brees demands a lot of attention. And it's going to be similar. He saw what they did for Teddy. He saw what the Jets and the Saints both did for Teddy.
Yep.
And, if Sean Payton gives him the stamp of approval to other teams.
They'll take him in a heartbeat.
He's going to make his money somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope Jameis works out. I hope the LASIK, in all seriousness, works out. And yeah, I don't think it's a competition. Maybe we're both wrong. Maybe we don't see what goes on, and Taysom Hill's a hell of a quarterback, and they really believe in him. But we haven't.
We're not watching the Saints practice, but we watch Saints games, and that's the whole thing. I obviously he can't come in because Drew Brees is there, but they're not using him really for anything other than surprise passes.
In my eyes, to the Colin Kaepernick situation early between Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, where Alex Smith was the main quarterback, and then Kaepernick would come. We saw it against our Jets when they played the Jets, and the Jets couldn't stop Colin Kaepernick because he would be that guy with the big arm that was a super athlete that ran the ball super well. Essentially what Taysom Hill is for the Saints right now, where if he does pull up and throw and that safety was coming up, he's going to throw a dime down the field and it's an easy touchdown.
Exactly.
But he's going to burn you for 15 yards on the ground if you don't honor it.
Yeah, but then again, I still don't even know if Taysom Hill is Colin Kaepernick. I'm not going to lie to you. Colin Kaepernick was very, very good.
Yes, he was. I believed Colin Kaepernick was going to change the quarterback position for a long time.
Me too. Then he regressed, but we're not going to talk about that. No. But I don't think that Taysom Hill is at that level either. I don't know what the kid brings. So that's why I just can't even talk about him. But
so my prediction, Jameis replacing Brees.
He's not replacing Brees. We're going to stop with that.
Game one starter, Jameis Winston, Brees retires. I'm in.
Okay, shut up.
Brees is going to the Patriots. They're going to have to trade him. He's gone.
Okay, there's a couple more quarterbacks out in the free agency market. Just today, Andy Dalton was gone from the Bengals. We kind of expected it.
Red rifle.
For the most part, we did expect it, honestly. Joe Burrow was going to start.
Yes.
So Andy Dalton's gone, and Cam Newton's still out there. No one has taken Cam Newton, which I'm complete shock about.
Quick aside on Cam Newton. One of the people I follow on Twitter kind of put out there about Cam Newton, like, why isn't he signed right now? And my personal thing was, he's probably still asking for too much, and I don't blame him. Former MVP that brought a mediocre team to the Super Bowl on his back, you demand a lot of money.
I wouldn't say mediocre. The defense is very good.
Yeah, but the offense couldn't score. It was him.
It was him, yeah.
So that's why I think he's not signed. I think his price tag is probably too high still.
That might be it, yeah. But anyway, so we're looking at a couple teams that might still need a quarterback. I guess the Chargers are going to run with Herbert as their starter. I don't know. I don't know if I would do that, but I guess they're going to run with Herbert as their starter.
Scary.
The Dolphins are probably going to run with Tua as their starter. I don't know if they're going to start Fitz.
I think they'll run with Tua, yeah.
Yeah, and the Pats right now seem to be running with Stidham. Is that how you say his name? I don't even know how to say his name.
Apparently they believe in him.
Yeah, I guess they believe in him. I mean, I'm not one to question Bill Belichick too much. But is there a possibility that we either see Andy Dalton or Cam Newton in a Patriots uniform?
Yes, to both, to be quite honest. And I thought it was going to be Cam until Dalton got hand. But if I'm still looking at it, if I'm Bill Belichick, Dalton might be the more Patriot way type guy where he just goes about, does his job, doesn't say anything, doesn't ruffle any feathers. But it's not like Cam Newton's a bad guy. The biggest criticism of Cam Newton is he's mopey every once in a while. When he's losing, he's mopey. And, and I forget, I think I was talking to Al on the recording the other day, which isn't out yet, saying that it would take one time where if Cam was there, if something went wrong, if he went on the sideline and threw the towel over his head, where McDaniels or Belichick would walk up to him, rip it off his head and say, cut it out. And that would never happen again. Because you look at the reclamation projects that they brought there, Corey Dillon, Randy Moss are the two that I really think of. That Randy Moss was a legitimate bad boy. Corey Dillon was a problem in Cincinnati when he didn't want it out. They took those guys. They've taken guys that haven't worked. They took Albert Hainsworth, and Albert Hainsworth just came in fat and out of shape and terrible.
Yeah.
But they're not against taking these reclamation projects, and Cam Newton going to the Patriots makes them the Super Bowl favorite. I'm sorry. If he goes there, it is them and the Chiefs and nobody else.
Okay, so I got to disagree with you on one thing. Cam Newton, to me, is only a reclamation project and injury alone. I don't think his attitude's the problem, really. I mean,
he's just a mopey lion sometimes.
He's just passionate. That's his whole thing. He's literally just passionate.
Now, does he get that pass when Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't? Because they've both been criticized for it.
No, I know that. No, they really don't. And I'm not going to lie to you. They do not get that pass, and I believe that they should because they're legit. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't deserve that pass when he goes and he tries to literally dive into Josh Norman head first. That's when he doesn't get that pass.
Oh, he should have been suspended for half a season.
Yeah, that's the time where I said, okay, that is way too far. Odell Beckham deserves something for that.
And that's when Cam Newton hasn't done that. Team.
Yeah, but Cam Newton hasn't done that.
No.
The most Cam Newton has done is not jump on a fumble. And I'm sorry, yeah, it was in the Super Bowl. I get it. You want to win. But that's the most he's done. And I'm sorry, but that's one play in a full game. In a full game. Because if he gets hurt, they lose that Super Bowl anyway. So that's one play in a full game. I get it. He should have jumped on it. Whatever.
And that's people that didn't watch him play before that, and the way he has put his body through torture for that franchise.
For that Panthers franchise. He's done so much for them. And he what's the most he's done is put a towel over his head, watch the other team score, say, okay, here we go, and then win the game. That's what he's done. So
And I think his other criticism is after the Super Bowl, when they put him in the room where he could hear the Patriots celebrating clearly behind him, he got up and left, which was the NFL's fault, not Cam's.
Listen. There really is they're not like consistent patterns of really bad behavior by Cam Newton. There's two not even big things. You're blowing these up if you think Cam Newton has a behavior problem. He doesn't. And it just drives me insane. But yes, if he is even 80% Cam Newton and goes to the Patriots, I agree with you. We're seeing the Patriots and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Because the scary part about Cam, and people haven't seen prime Cam in a long time.
Yeah.
We see Patty Mahomes and Lamar right now. Well, just imagine if Patty Mahomes and Lamar could make a love child. It's Cam Newton.
No. They have to be bigger. They have to be bigger because Cam Newton's huge.
Maybe Jameis joins in and they all combine. Somehow.
Yeah.
Like, because people forget that Cam Newton was the freak. There was a running offense design that was Cam Newton's, but he also could move and make the throws that Patrick Mahomes makes. Yeah, he doesn't do the trick throws as much, but he has that cannon. He has that accuracy. He has the athleticism. Like, he's what Vince Young wanted to be when Vince Young came into the NFL with the Titans. It's exactly what it is. But Cam,
it's exactly what it is.
It's scary to think that we've already written off Cam Newton as a potential future MVP again.
Yeah, no, I don't think we should. I've always had complete faith in Cam unless the injury absolutely killed him.
Yes.
That's the only way I'll write him off. If he comes out again after this long time of reforging his body and getting back to it, and he's still missing, you can see him make all the reads. He makes every single right read, but he just misses the throw because his body just can't do it. If he keeps doing that, then okay, that's it. I'm sorry, Cam Newton can't do it anymore. Yep. But if he is making those throws, you better be wary. You better be scared.
Yeah, agreed. So I think we're both in the vote that I think Cam Newton would be better for New England if he's healthy. If not healthy, I might not even go with Andy Dalton because I don't know what Andy Dalton has left.
That's true.
Even in New England.
That's true.
Sad as it is. Now, if this was Matt Stafford, I would say go with Matt Stafford because I think Matt Stafford's a better quarterback than Andy Dalton.
Matt Stafford's another one that no one cares about. He's done so much good for the Detroit Lions, but no one cares about him.
If Matt Stafford had like 4 playoff wins, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
It's so sad. Poor Matt Stafford. He's never going to go to the Hall of Fame, and he's been one of the best quarterbacks of this generation.
He's been such a steady quarterback for the Lions. He's been so good.
And the Lions destroy another fantastic player's career by failing to help them. Here, we gave you Megatron, and then this Division III college's offensive line.
Exactly.
God.
It drives me wild.
All right, but Dave, it's going to close out this episode of Cuesta Dos.
Yeah, it's a fun one. I got a little angry. It's because it's hot in here.
It is. I'm not that hot, but yeah, I got to sing a song, and I thought my jingle was pretty good about Jameis.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was pretty good. I did enjoy it.
Well, you'll enjoy watching Jameis starting for the Saints.
He's not going to start. He'll start in whatever other team he probably goes to because someone's going to get injured.
He's going to start. Anyway, and it's going to be Breeze healthy too.
Oh my God, stop it. Stop. End the show. End the show.
So with that, that's going to end this episode of Cuesta Dos. He's David. You can find him on Twitter.
I am.
At DQuesta308. You can find him on Instagram at QuestaCola. And he'll be doing nothing on either because he's terrible on social media.
That's true. It's very true.
I'm Alex Cuesta. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Cuesta30. Search for Sports Opinions on Twitter and Instagram at SportsOpinion30 and SportsOpinions30. Hopefully, eventually, we're going to get Twitters and Instagrammies for all of the shows that we have going on here. So maybe one day I'll be giving that plug. But go ahead and listen to the Sports Opinions Podcast fan series that's out there, the NFL Divisional Fan Series. There's going to be 8 of them. It's going to be lots of fun. Little 15-minute snips of the fans giving us their opinions on the offseason, outlooks on the season. It's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Be on the lookout for the new Sports Opinions Podcast coming out, and be on the lookout for a lot of other stuff that's going to happen down the road, because we ain't going to stop. Dave, are you going to stop?
No. I mean, I haven't stopped working, so I can't. I'm not going to stop doing this.
I might uninvite you at some point, though.
Wow, you're mean.
I might just bring on our mom, because our mom is as knowledgeable as a sports fan as any of us.
Well, you know, she is. She really is. Also, at one point, I do want to bring Matt onto the show.
I told you the stipulation.
I know the stipulation, but I do think he'd add a lot. So
he will.
At one point,
Matt Santos gets his own show. Well, I've told him to get his own show. He will come on this show, which is fine. But if Matt Santos still refuses to get his own show, he will just be a guest every once in a while on Sports Opinions Podcast and Roundtables. He will be relegated. That's a term he can understand.
You're gonna relegate.
But all right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this long and fun episode of Cuesta Dos. Have a good one, everyone.